Okay, that's my little, the first chorus of Sweet Dreams by Roy Buchanan. First, let's look at the progression, which is really nice, I think. It's in 6/8, and it's just this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 2 bars of G with, finger pip, an arpeggio here. Then 2 bars of A7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1 bar of D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then D with C bass. Second finger's on C. First finger bar is the D triad. Then this is 2 and 3. Looks like a B minor 7 chord. Then D with A bass, and this sets it up nicely. Just put first finger on A. So that's back that exact thing again. A7. D with C bass, D with B bass, D with A bass. This is different now. G, up to C, 2 bars of each, then 2 bars of G, then E minor. Here's a bunch of 1 bars. G, C, G, D7, and then again, G, C, G, D7. And then that's the form, and you just keep repeating it. Okay, so it starts with just D, I use third finger, E, and E. And it's interesting because it sounds like a whole tone scale, like, for a second, like, because there's nothing else. And then when he bends up to that G, the band comes in, okay? Then there's an arpeggio of an A7. Okay? Then there's, and that's a pre-bend. Always check the note you're bending up to. There it is. Then he does in 4th position. This time he starts on E. Okay. Then the same A7 arpeggio. Then same thing. Then the full ascension. Here we play over C, and it's 4th finger on, on G. Then it's a vocal-like line. Then over E minor. Then he does like this flash lick that I can't figure out, and it's like, with all due respect, it's kind of like great slop. So I just kind of do my little thing here, and that's a very easy lick. It's just, so pull off, 3-1 open, then just same thing but move it down here. Then it's a pre-bend from D up to E. Then slide. Then it's a pre-bend again. Then it's, and that's hard, I guess. Then it's, that's how he plays C. It's really nice, I think. And then Okay, so that's the head, and after that, you know, I really don't cop what Roy does. I just play the head note for note as a tribute, and because it's lovely. Some of the things he does I can't do, and some of them, and I don't mean to be condescending, but they are like great slop. But I usually just try and play pretty. So, you know, I'd play G major 7 for the G, and then A7, and then there's D. Okay, so let me... etc. So some of that was just G major 7, then A7, then D, and sometimes I follow the bass line, you know, right as something like that. Over the E minor, oh wait, then there's the C, and I might preface C with an F natural, and everything else was G, F sharp. Now we're A. Okay, then down to D, which I would play F sharp, because that's the major third. Okay, but before the C, it sounds good to play an F, like you probably anticipated that, because it's like G7 C. So that's the one time I would play F. Then back to F sharp. Now, prefacing the E minor, and you know, nothing was to write home about, but I kind of threw in a B7. So a lot of times you can play, there's the E minor. Yeah, I said B7, I think I said that. I would imply a B7, in this case a B7 flat 9, and so you get this kind of sound. That's B7 flat 9, it looks like a diminished chord. See how nice? I think that's nice. So I would throw in like a B70 thing to preface the E minor and gussy it up and make it more expressive. So the little arpeggio thing I did, just so I don't want it to be like not show and tell, is it's really easy. You know, so it's using the open G and B for G, using the open G and B for A, which now is the 7th and the 9th. Then I did thirds maybe. And again, like, I don't know if this was my best work, but it was how I would approach it. There's a recording, I've recorded this song twice, once with Joe Goldmark on, I forget the name of the record, and I did it once with Norah Jones on American Hips, but I kind of didn't really do a Roy thing as I did on the top of this. But I would kind of take it a little step further with some chord substitutions, and this would be, you know, a little more of what I did. But this, you could keep it straight, and that's a nice phrase. I think I can make that work. Some guitaristic things. That was a G triad, played with 2, 4, and 3, and then, and it becomes like a A9. And again, the progression itself lends itself to beauty, and I usually just kind of, you know, take it easy without playing really fancy things. But that's a nice one, you know. I think I did. You know, it just plays by itself. So anyway, Roy Buchanan was a big influence on me when I was learning, and I ended up getting these records. I got this first one, I'm grabbing them, sorry, when I was 12, and it's Roy Buchanan. I think this is, you know, my favorite Roy record, just called Roy Buchanan, got this great cover. It's on CD, probably on YouTube, and not only is Sweet Dreams the way I just kind of tried to play it, but Lonesome Fugitive, this great country song where he does this like groundbreaking steel guitar stuff. And it's just a great record. I really like it. And the other record I'd recommend is Roy Buchanan's second album. That's what it's called. So, you know, these two are really my favorites, and where Roy was playing very versatile, for lack of a better word. Now, the Sweet Dreams that is really great is off this bootleg record that I have. It was like a bandstand record, I believe. It's in a guinea sack, and some of the record I don't love, but his version of Sweet Dreams, it's Buke and the Snake Stretcher, Sweet Dreams, is recorded live, I think, at the Crossroads Club, and it's really amazing and, you know, humbling, because I think Roy was 27 or 28 at the time, and when I got these records, you know, I thought he was like 110, you know. But now that I've gotten older, I'm like, wow, what a young man, like, to be that brilliant. And those are the records I'd recommend if, you know, you want a little Roy tutorial. They still sound good to me. By the way, when I saw Roy live, he would end this song, you know, all this progression stuff. If you could do this, fourth finger on the 12th fret, 5th string, and then first finger on the 7th fret, 6th string. Okay, so you go. Okay, and I'm in treble position. Sometimes that helps hear the harmonic. Just do it on the next set of strings. So that was string 5 and 6. Do it on 4 and 5. Do it on 3 and 4. Do it on 2 and 3. Do it on 1 and 2. Then he ends it with 7th fret, 1st string, and 5th fret, 3rd string, which is a G. Okay. And he did that, and it was one of the first times I saw somebody bend behind the nut. And if you're going to bend behind the nut, make sure you're not right by the nut. Get where there's some slack so it doesn't really make hamburger out of your finger. Okay, so that's my little Sweet Dreams Roy lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out and have a great day.